What's going on, everybody? This is Michael with MTG Anarchy, where we take a look into the world of Magic the Gathering and throw a little bit of mischief and chaos into the mix. How's everybody doing today? Personally, I'm just currently working, and I just wanted to kind of record something down while I'm currently working because a thought came into mind that I really wanted to discuss. Now, this is going to be a ramble type video that I'm going to be putting under the Anarchist Discussions. So honestly, this is something that I wanted to kind of discuss, but this is going to be a different type of video than I normally do. So again, if this is something you like and want to hear more of in general, please stay for the video, like it, share it, comment below, that sort of thing like that. Let me know if this is the type of format that you guys want to hear when it comes to this sort of stuff. But I just wanted to go ahead and discuss a couple things in terms of what my thoughts are, and one thought in specific, especially with what's going on with current products as well as future products. So just that's something that I wanted to discuss. But let me go ahead and start by asking, and I before we get into everything, please don't mind the background noise, the clicking and everything like that. Like I said, I am currently working, as well as I do have pets, and I live in an apartment complex, so there's bound to be noise in the background. So this might not be the best sort of audio, but again, I just wanted to kind of get my thoughts out in these sorts of topics. But let's jump into the topic in itself. Now, I wanted to bring up the following discussion of variations of cards within current products as well as future products. Haven't you all noticed that we're seeing more and more different variations and versions of cards within products lately? Like the most recent example, Core 2021 has had about 5 different versions of cards available, either within the regular versions, the regular booster boxes, or draft boxes, which is what Wizards is saying, or the VIP or collector's versions of boxes. Now, this is just something that I've noticed that there, like within the last within Core Set 2021, the last product to come out, there were 5 different versions of cards available within that product. For example, you have the regular versions, you have the showcase versions, you have the extended arts, you have the full arts, and then you have the alternate arts, which again, like I said, there are 5 different versions. So for those that don't know what those versions are or want a little bit more explanation, let me get into it. Regular versions are cards that we're already used to. They have the regular borders that we're used to, the regular versions of the arts. Nothing's really too special about them other than just what they usually are, than what we're used to. Then we have the showcase version. Now, the showcase version of specific cards, they have a different type of bordering, but the same art to them. So it's the same as the regular art's the exact same, but the borders are different looking, which they've been doing that recently with, let's say, Throne of Eldraine or Theros or anything like that. Then we have the extended arts. Now, extended arts is where the art in itself is stretched out to hit the left and right of the card, the extended areas, but you still have the top and the bottom kind of looking similar to kind of the regular version of the cards. Then we have the full arts, where it's just the art in itself takes control and it's completely filled. Honestly, you could see that in terms with Basri Ket or Liliana or any of the Planeswalkers, even with Ugin in itself, there's that full art version. And then we have the alternate art, which I would say the biggest comparison is Solemn Simulacrum, the Containment Priest, and even Cultivate. Those are your alternate art versions, where you have the regular version of the card in itself, and then you have the alternate art, full style, that sort of thing there, which is a whole different art that they use. Now, in my opinion, Wizards of the Coast is going to potentially add more and more versions of the same type of card within their future products. And they are looking to start now to do that, especially with the most recent sets like Throne of Eldraine, Theros Beyond Death, Ikoria Lair of Behemoth, and even Core Set 2021, they've been introducing this sort of concept to us. And haven't you all noticed that within a lot of these arts, different variations and that sort of thing like that, the prices differentiate? I mean, they're all potentially the same cards, but within the secondary market, depending on the version of the card and the art style and everything like that, the prices go higher and higher depending on the different variation. Now, in my own personal opinion, that's where Wizards is potentially heading, especially when it comes to different versions. When it comes down to it, they are having the same card in its essence, the same card, the same thing what it does, but then they change up the border, they change up the style of the card, they change up the art of the card. And individuals are potentially paying more for those styles, their variations, their versions, depending on a lot of different aspects of it, like how many is available within the market and everything like that. But I don't foresee Wizards stopping this train, this thought process. And I think as a community, we've all been accepting of this. We've all been accepting of, oh, there's a different version, there's a different art style. And I think that, yes, art in itself, it's within the eye of the beholder. It depends on what individuals think. And I'm not saying that some art is better over others. But what I will say is, I believe Wizards is going to continue on this train of adding more and more variations to the point that we'll potentially get like 10 to 12 different versions of the exact same card within the market. Now, within the past sets and even with reprints in general, Wizards has gone ahead and changed up the arts of different cards, and they've ultimately said, hey, look, this version of the card is going to be worth more or worth less in comparison to another type of version. And like I said, depending on who you are, you may like a certain version over another version. I mean, that is something to really go ahead and say. But to me, and this is just something that's been on my mind, I think, like I said, Wizards is going to continue on with this process of adding more and more different versions. And that's kind of frightening if you actually sit down and think about it in that sort of sense. Because what Wizards is potentially doing is giving us so many different versions that if we're trying to collect all of them or anything like that, it's going to be harder and harder to do. Especially for you completionists out there that want complete sets of this, which, again, there's just too many. And that's not including the non-foil versions to the foil versions. I mean, that is something to keep in mind with a lot of these up and coming products, these newer products, is that there are going to be more different variations to them. And yeah, like I said, it's pretty frightening where it's going, because now you have to, if you're a completionist, you have to collect them all, which means you have to spend more to get them, which again, that is something that is worrisome versus just what the regular card does. Now, I'm an individual where it's like, you know what, there are certain arts that look amazing, look good. I think the Solemn Simulacrum, the Cultivate, even the Containment Priest versions, and even the Ugin, there are some really good arts to those alternate art versions, and I like those types of arts. But if I have an Ugin, or if I have a Cultivate, or if I have a Solemn Simulacrum, those sorts of cards, then in that sort of manner, do I really need the art? And I think that's what the secondary market is looking for. Is it worth it to get the secondary or the alternate art? Is it worth it to pay as much as people are paying for a different version of art? Now, again, some people are like, well, I just want the card. I just want to play with the card. I just want to have the card in general so I can put it in decks, and I think that's fine. I think that if you're looking for different versions and different variations to put in decks, I think that that is something to always consider in terms of those sorts of things. But I am just wondering, in terms of different sort of styles and different sort of arts, how extreme is Wizards going to take this? And I know I've been reiterating a lot of things through this because, again, this is just coming off my head, just that sort of thing there. But how extreme is Wizards going to go ahead and take this sort of concept of different variations, different versions? Like, how many versions are they going to be putting in different styles? Like, I just don't know. I really don't know, because then it's going to turn into, okay, one version is going to be worth more. Are they going to be keeping some versions? Are they going to be removing some versions? Are they going to make it so that way this is the social norm, which is what it's feeling like with all these different versions of cards? It's going to get out of control. And I have this worry that Wizards will not know when to stop. And I mean, it's great for all of us that are wanting these reprints and wanting these different varieties and versions of the cards, so we're able to have access to them, to play with them and everything like that. But if you're, let's say, an investor and you're wanting to go ahead, or completionist, and you're wanting to have all these different types of versions of the cards in general, like for Planeswalkers, there's 4 different varieties and versions, and that's not including foil versus non-foil. Honestly, I'm extremely worried when it comes to that sort of stuff. I am. And that to me is something that I can foresee in the future being very worrisome. Because in order to go ahead and get a specific card, you're going to have to pay more for it. And even though it's the same card in itself. And there may be a lot of individuals out there that say, no, it's not the same, it's not going to be different. No, it's not the exact same card. Honestly, it truly is. It does the exact same thing as the other versions are for it. It's just you're paying for the different variety of version. And the different variety, the different version of the card. And that's where I see issues happen. And that's where I see things happen with Wizards of the Coast. How far will they take these sorts of concepts? How far will they take these versions of cards? But again, those are my thoughts, and I wanted to just put them out there, see what everybody else thinks about this sort of thing. But again, those are just my thoughts. What are your thoughts when it comes to different varieties, different versions, different variations of these sorts of cards? Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think. Is this a good thing? Is this a bad thing? Again, let me know in the comments down below. But with that said, this is just what I wanted to get out there. Thank you guys so much for actually listening to this video or watching this video. I do appreciate it. Honestly, if you guys are able to do so, I would appreciate it to like, comment, and share this video so it gets out into the algorithm so more people within YouTube can actually see videos like this. Also, if you haven't already done so, or if this is your first time on the channel, I would appreciate it if you could subscribe and hit the bell notification so you can keep up to date with any new videos that do come out here on the channel of MTG Anarchy. And finally, I would actually personally appreciate it if you could go ahead and, if you're financially able to do so, to support your local game stores. Honestly, in terms of local game stores, I want a place to go back to, which is why I'm trying to do whatever I can to financially support my local game store. And if you guys can actually do that too, I would actually appreciate it, because I think we all want a place to go back to when everything about this whole pandemic is taken care of and done and over with. So again, if you're financially able to do so, please go ahead and support your local game stores. But again, thank you guys so much for watching or listening to this video. My name is Michael, here a part of the MTG Anarchy channel, and you guys all have a fantastic day. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again soon.